Game Show Network. All play, all day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Hi. Hey, welcome to Tell the Truth. I'll be inside to see you in a minute. I'm at the moment right out here on 53rd Street, right outside our theater. I haven't had chance to get anything to eat. Excuse me, young lady, may I talk to you?
Sure.
May I have a hot dog, please?
We don't have any hot dogs.
Don't have any hot dogs. Could I have an orange drink?
We don't have any orange drink.
Don't have any orange drink. What kind of a cart is this? What do you sell?
We have moussaka,
Moussaka?
beef burgundy,
Beef burgundy.
cream cheese and Westphalian ham,
Cream cheese and Westphalian ham, yeah.
and cream cheese and caviar.
And caviar, you're kidding.
No.
Hey, how about that? I'll take a cream cheese and Westphalian ham. Tell you what this is. This is the fanciest new thing in New York. It's a new kind of cart. It's called a Ula cart, and they serve gourmet meals right on the sidewalks of New York. Thank you, Sonny. We'll learn more about this inside the theater as soon as I greet and introduce the panel over here. Hey there, Bill Cullen. Come on in, lad.
Bill Cullen.
Cream cheese and caviar. Be happy with it. Oh, boy. Go have a seat. Thank you.
Peggy Cash.
What do you want? Beef burgundy cider. That's pretty fancy. This is the sidewalks of New York. There you go.
Thank you very much. Where's the cider?
Cider's coming right up. We'll get that for you right now. Yummy, look at that. Isn't that great? Hey,
There's Orson Bean.
We wouldn't have a dirty water hot dog, would you? That fake mustard, you know, and a stale roll. That's what I'd really like, no?
not at this fancy machine here.
All right, well,
How
give
about
me-
some moussaka?
No, give me that, what is that burgundy stuff? You have some of that?
Beef burgundy, all right. Fine. We just have to... You go get yours. We'll get Kitty in here. Hey, Kitty. Hi, dear.
And Kitty Carlisle.
Sure, it's moussaka. You want some moussaka?
Yes, and what's it for?
This is a new kind of a stand. It's called an Ula cart.
Oh.
Hey, friends, the panel is going to go into the theater now. We'll be back
Thank
to hear
you.
more about this right after a couple of commercials, okay? Thank you, Sonny. You're a cute girl.
Really?
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 Why wash and on it?
Really? 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 Really?
Hungry Jack biscuits now have the delicious taste of cinnamon and sugar in every flaky layer. These are really good.
Hungry Jack's cinnamon and sugar biscuits.
And you'll never have to clean your shower again.
It's soft. It's warm. And it's really comfortable. New carpet. It just feels better.
Excuse me. Wrong time to take a bite. We are back inside the theater out on the sidewalk. We were served with moussaka, caviar, beef burgundy, all sorts of jazz. Now let's meet the man who has put a little class into the outside snack cart business.
Number one. What is your name, please?
My name is Bob Engelhardt.
Number two.
My name is Bob Engelhardt.
Number three.
My name is Bob Engelhardt.
Our job is to find out which of these three gentlemen is indeed Bob Engelhardt, and here is his story. I, Bob Engelhardt, am introducing gourmet foods to the sidewalks of New York. Until now, the food from roving street carts was a limited fare consisting of hot dogs, pretzels, and perhaps ice cream. With the introduction of my new Ula Cart food carts, the wandering, hungry gourmet can treat himself to such exotic goodies as caviar, beef Burgundy, Westphalian ham, and Greek moussaka sandwiches to be washed down with various types of coffee or a French cider. The Ula carts are also pleasant to look at, being decorated with colorful Portuguese tiles and topped by a frilly French beach umbrella. In case you're wondering, the name Ula carte is my own invention. It's a combination of that suitable restaurant term, a la carte, and the joyous French exclamation, ooh la la. Signed, Robert Englehart. And I don't know which one of you it is, but I've enjoyed having lunch with you. Let's go to Kitty Carlisle.
Oh, my goodness, I'm so full of all kinds of marvelous things. Number 3, what's the bread that the moussaka and the beef bourguignon is wrapped in?
It's, there are two. There are pita and Russian black bread.
No, we both have the same. Oh, there must be pizza.
Oh, there's pita. Pita, the moussaka, sure, yeah.
And number 2, what kind of cider is this?
It's an apple cider, French apple cider.
Oh, and number 1, are you any relation to Charles Englehart?
Unfortunately, no.
You're so right. Number 3, where are you going to have these carts? In any special places in the city?
Yeah, in the Upper East Side, around the 50s, 60s.
Uh-huh. Number 2, what kind of a license do you have to operate this?
I don't have to have any license, just my girls.
Well, what kind of licenses do they have to have?
They have to go to the city licensing department for the Department of Health.
And number 1, what are the health regulations? Does anybody inspect your kitchens where you make these sorts of things?
Oh, yes, the standard health regulations that you have in New
Where
York
do
City.
you do the cooking?
In a village restaurant called the Café Finjan.
Thank you, Kitty. Let's go to Bill Cullen.
Before I begin, I'd like to complain, Gary. My beer has no head on it. This is cider.
That's cider, friend.
Number one is this cider alcoholic?
Not unless you let it stand too long.
Well, I'm in no hurry. Number 3, could you sell alcoholic cider from a cart like that?
No.
Number 2, how many of these carts have you at the moment?
At the moment, we have 3.
I think it's a sensational idea, and I will stick with number 2 and ask him, could it be a success in any city in this world other than New York?
I'm sure it could.
You really think this would go, number 1, you think this would go in Pittsburgh by Jones and Laughlin Steel Mill? To borrow a page from Orson's book, number 1.
I like to think so.
What is, number 3, what is moussaka?
It's a Greek dish, usually of ground ham and eggplant with a cheese.
Number 2.
Thank you, Bill. How about you, Peggy?
Thank you. Number 2 said this was pizza bread, but this is really Lebanese bread, isn't it?
It's pita.
But isn't it Lebanese bread?
It's from the Near East. They
It's
have
like
it in
your old
Greek too,
pocketbook. You
in
can fill
Turkey.
it.
Yeah, right.
Number 1, on one of your Ula carts, it was on Central Park South, it said that moussaka was a French delicacy. I almost fainted. Who prints up your signs?
One of the waitresses who is chauvinistic in German.
She goofed, I'll tell you that. Number 3, could you get a beer license?
No.
But you could bring your own beer to the Ula cart, right?
Possibly.
Number 2, do you pick your girls mostly for looks?
No, we don't.
Well, then they don't have to cook. What do they have to be? Good pushers of wagons, I mean.
Good sellers. Good sellers.
I mean, what do they pick for? What reasons?
Good sellers. They have to be good sellers.
I see. 3, I have a feeling that they're out-of-work actresses. Is that true?
They're cute.
Well, they're cute. They look like, that's kind of a job I would have liked about 20 years ago when I could push an Ula cart myself. Number 1, are you going to branch out into anything else like fish and chips or, I mean, get a more extensive menu?
That depends.
And Orson Bean, please.
Yes, well, I want to find out, when your sidewalk stewardess runs out of moussaka, number 3, does someone come around with a van and refill her pot, or what?
No, we know the market fairly well now, and when we sell out and rush back to the kitchen.
Well, number 2, in the dirty water hot dog carts, the guy keeps moving the hot dogs into the dirty water as they run out. And therefore they're kept reasonably fresh.
That's right.
Reasonably dirty.
Right, well, in order to keep the water from getting too dirty, he keeps the lid on, that's all. But number 2, how about your stuff? Doesn't it kind of steep in its own juice all day?
No, it's not too much of it, and we only sell from 11:45 till 3 in the noon, which is about 4 hours.
Number one now.
Thank you, Orson. That's all the time we have for questions. We must now vote. We mark our ballots for 1, or perhaps for 2, or for 3. $50 is what it costs us for each wrong vote. $500 if all the votes are wrong. And Kitty, what do you want? Who do you want to go for?
Well, I've been so busy eating, I really haven't listened to the questions. It was delicious. I voted for number 2. I think it's sort of a foreign idea, and I think number 2 has a foreign accent. And it's not number 2 because he's thanking me.
Bill?
Yeah. I did the same thing Kitty did as far as voting. He said 11:45 to 2. I know I saw one yesterday on Madison Avenue at 5. But in spite of that, I think maybe the girl was working overtime, or they had some moussaka that wasn't moving.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Moonlighting.
Yeah.
Peggy?
I don't want to be chauvinistic, but I think this is an American invention. And number 1 looks as though he hangs around the Cafe Fiend John, so I voted for him.
All right, so there's 1 for 1 and 2 for 2. And Orson, you going to bust it up, or what are you going to do?
Well, there's a wonderful restaurant in the village called Sayat Nova where they have the greatest moussaka in the world, and this is good, too. But I voted for number 3. I think that what Bill saw was they served martinis to tired account executives at 5 o'clock.
That was the crowd, yeah.
Good idea.
A lot of my friends were
In
there.
any event, the votes are all in. So will the real Robert Englehart please stand up? There he is. Peggy.
Right.
Peggy Quinlan. Bob, we'll be back to you in a second. Let's find out about number 2, sir. You got 2 wrong votes. What is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Ulrich Spenke, and I work with Exporters Forwarding Company, which is a foreign freight forwarding outfit.
Uh-huh. Number 3, sir, you got 1 wrong vote. What is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Peter Gibson, and I'm an architect city planner with the City Planning Commission.
I must say, Bob, this is really a marvelous idea. It's caught on in a big... Do you take credit cards?
That was our original idea, as a matter of fact, but it proved too cumbersome, so we gave that up early.
Does one dare come without a jacket and tie to one of your cards?
We frown, but we will serve you.
You will.
It's really delicious. This beef bourguignon is really very good.
Well, as a matter of fact, you mentioned the name of a restaurant down in the village.
The Cafe Fiend John.
What is your relation to it?
I own that as well.
So no wonder he
you
has a
look as though you
good
hang around
supply,
there.
right? Okay, Bob Englehart and friends, thank you very much for being with us. It's been delicious to have you on to tell the truth. Now, our next guest is a lady who has reached heights never before attained by any American woman. And we'll meet her after a few intrepid messages of our own.
Get ready to play. $4.98, 3 CDs, $29.98, plus $4.95 shipping. Have your credit card ready and call now.
And now let's meet our lady who climbed the heights.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Alice Liska.
Number 2.
My name is Alice Liska.
Number 3.
My name is Alice Liska.
All right, here is Alice Liska's story. I, Alice Liska, am a mountain climber. Together with my husband, I have climbed mountains in the United States, Europe, Canada, South America, and Mexico. My greatest experience, however, was recently when I climbed the 24,600-foot No-Shock Peak in Afghanistan. No-Shock is higher than any other mountain outside the continent of Asia and had been climbed only 3 times previously. Originally, I had planned to stay at the base camp while my husband and the other men in the expedition made the climb to the summit. I doubted my strength and ability to make it to the top, but the men encouraged me. So with my husband as my rope partner, I made the difficult and exhausting climb, and I'm very glad I did. Because of this climb, I now hold the record for the highest climb by any American woman. Signed, Alice Liska. And we'll start our questioning with a gentleman who is frequently up in the air himself, Mr. Orson Bean.
Thank you. Well, it could be any of them. All 3 have sturdy little bodies, and I can picture them making it to the top of the... Thank you. Number 3. that film we saw of the mountain is absolutely terrifying to me. When you stand at the bottom looking up, is it as steep looking as it is in that film?
Not usually. From some views, yes. More steep looking from some
That's
views.
incredible. Number one, as you move up, does everything become harder as the oxygen gets thinner?
Yes, but we try to acclimate ourselves at base camp several weeks or even a month before we start the climb, so we're pretty well acclimated.
How high up is base camp?
15,000 feet.
And how high is the rest of the climb?
24,600 is the total.
Mercy. Number two, what is the safety? In other words, if you're all tied together, or are you all tied together? You said your husband was your partner. Just
Yes,
two?
Just two. Well, there were 7 of us, so there were 3 together and then 2 on the other 2 teams.
Now, what's to stop the one that falls from just dragging the others along with him? Does the one on top get a firm grip before
Yes.
the second one moves?
The first one would go up the full 150 feet, the length of the rope, before the second one would attempt to come.
Now, let me ask you this. If the one gets up 125 feet of those 150 and suddenly falls, the one below has to brace himself for a tremendous jolt. Isn't that right?
Well, usually it's not that much. I mean, I didn't find it difficult as a girl. It's not that hard when you're standing with the ropes. Just the pressure of the rope going around the body of the top person is enough to secure even a very strong man.
Okay, thank you, Orson. Let's get to Kitty.
Number 3, were there any mishaps where you did have to brace yourself with your husband?
There were not on this trip.
But you have had.
Yes.
Climbing what?
Usually climbing more difficult rock climbs.
And number 1, what would be more difficult, a rock climb?
Well, when you... Well,
I mean,
once I...
specific.
Well, there's a type of rock that you don't like to run into, like scree, for instance, which is loose.
Thank you. Number 2, what is a piton?
The piton is either used in the rock, there's a rock piton or a snow and ice piton. It's a long spike.
Thank you. Number 3, do you use oxygen on the way up?
No, not on this mountain.
And number 1, how far in time was the base camp from the top? How many hours did it take?
Well, not counting the time in the 3 other camps on the way up, I'd say, well, in days it was about 5 days up.
Then number 2, did you cook on the way up? You did.
Thank you, Kitty.
Number 1, I don't think Orson's question was understood. At least it wasn't answered to my satisfaction. What he wanted to know is if your rope partner is above you, say some 50 or 60 feet, you are below naturally, and you are tied together, and he slips. He goes whizzing by at a considerable speed and some 175, 80 pounds. How do you keep from being pulled off after him?
Well, in my particular case, we used a lot of what we call fixed rope lines, as many hand lines as we could hold on to. And in this case, I have never had anyone fall. I probably could not hold them.
Number 3, other than just depending on the strength of the person below, is there another way to secure that line between you and the person above to make sure that he doesn't pull you off the edge of the mountain or wherever you happen to be?
Yes, you can secure yourself into the ice and snow by a long piton.
And number 2, do you usually do that until the lead person has gotten a firm foothold?
Well, when we got near the top of the mountain, when we approached the summit, everyone was secured before the leader went up. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Some artificial means.
Okay, Bill, let's get to Peggy.
Hey, number 1, I was once in the official mountaineering guide place in Switzerland. Do you know where that is? Where they teach people to climb mountains?
Number 1?
No, I don't.
Thank you. Number 3, is it true that not all mountains have names, some have numbers? There are
a few mountains with numbers, although in this case the number is the name.
Well, that's what I mean. Okay. Number 2, did you take sleeping bags? Did you sleep up there?
Oh, yes, we had tents, and we slept in sleeping bags.
How was your weather?
It was very good. We didn't climb until the summer. We waited till last summer. We went up, we started the end of July. So
Thank you.
Very good.
Number 3, did you need ice axes at all?
Yes, on the snow and ice.
At the top?
Yes.
Number 1, who underwrites these kinds of expeditions?
Well, in our case, as far as getting it together, we did. Don, my husband, a friend of his, organized it. It was his idea. And then a total of 7 of us financed it, organized it ourselves, and planned it.
Well, that's terrific. Number 2, do you have tie-ins with manufacturers, like you use some guy's rope and another guy's pitons?
No, we use the best equipment, most of it European.
Number 3, how many bearers did you have?
Thank you very much, Peggy. That's all the time we have for questioning. We must now vote, and we're going to vote for 1, or we're going to vote for 2, or we're going to vote for 3. If the vote is wrong, it costs us $50. If the whole panel flunks out, it's a $500 tab for us. And Orson Bean, you want to start?
Well, I was saying to Tenzing, my Sherper guy the other day, who gets me up here to the Ed Sullivan Theater on alternate Tuesdays, I voted for number 2 because she looks rich. And if number 1 was right and they had to finance their own trip, number 2 would have the money.
Perceptive. Let's get to Kitty.
You've hurt her feelings.
I voted for number 3 for a very extraordinary reason. She seemed to be smiling rather patronizingly when we were asking our questions as if they were pretty silly.
Might have been at that. Bill?
Mine were. I wanted to vote for number 1 because she's wearing boots. Not mountain climbing boots, dress boots, but I didn't vote for her because number 2 sold me. I don't know why. Anyway, I voted for... I don't know anything about mountain climbing.
Number 2 is a steady look to the eye. How about you, Peggy?
I love number 1 said that the scree, which is a kind of a stone and shale and all that stuff. But number 2 smiled so nicely when they asked if she cooked that I just had to vote for her. Number 2.
There goes another one for 2, huh? All right, we're almost unanimous, but not quite. Let's find out about it. Will the real Alice Liska please stand up? Nice going, gang. Alice, we'll get back to you. Let's find out about some of these other folks. Number 1, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Melinda Tanner, and I do voice dubbing for foreign films.
Great. And, wow, number 2 with 3 wrong votes. What is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Beth Cole, and I'm a housewife and mother of 2 small boys.
Alice, let's get back to this original question. I'm not sure that it was answered to everybody's satisfaction. You do again. You have somebody who's above you. Now, he falls. Now, he's got to pull you with him, right?
When the leader is climbing above, there's a technique called belaying the leader. A man below can belay the leader by a rope going from to pitons, which the leader has put in.
Oh, he puts them in as he goes up.
He puts
so his
pitons
chances then of falling the whole distance are rather slight.
Slim because he's caught on the piton.
And not anybody once said that they would wave goodbye to the fellow as he went past. Did you notice that? They were all concerned with whether they get flipped off. You know, the thing that is always said about mountain climbers, you say, why did you climb it? They've always given an answer that we always accept. I've never known what it meant. They always say, because it's there. What does that mean, Alice?
I guess it means because if the mountain wasn't there, you couldn't climb it. But I have a much better reason to climb.
What is your reason?
Well, a lot of girls haven't learned this, but you see, the higher you go, the better the odds are. That is, the ratio of men to women is pretty darn good up there, you know?
Hey! Good. So her answer is she climbs it because they're there. And Alice, thank you very much, and Imposters for being with us here on To Tell the Truth. You know what?
Get ready to play. Johnny Carson.
From the people who brought you fuel handling to the address above. Rush delivery available. Order now.
Up next on Game Show Network, play What's My Line, followed by Match Game and Tattletales.
Promotional consideration provided by American Airlines. Traveling on business or traveling for fun, it's good to know you're on American Airlines. This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Totten production.
On Game Show Network, anyone can win terrific prizes like this. Grollier's Encyclopedia Americana. This authoritative encyclopedia provides comprehensive, up-to-date subject coverage in 30 volumes with over 30 million words. From Grolier Incorporated.